too long, victims have asked why the tragic impacts of crime on their lives, family, and property are not given greater prominence in our justice system. That is why our government will bring forward legislation to implement a Victims' Bill of Rights. This will further enhance our commitment to victims of crime by entrenching their rights into a single law at the federal level.
And that was Federal Justice Minister Rob Nicholson Monday promising to get tougher on child sex offenders while giving a greater voice to their victims. Nicholson announced plans to introduce a Victims' Bill of Rights along with longer sentences for those who assault children. Former NHLer and victims' right advocate Theo Fleury joins us now from Calgary to give us his thoughts on these proposed changes. Good to have you with us this morning, Theo.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so we didn't get any major details on what they're announcing, but we've heard that we're going to finally see some tougher sentences. Are you optimistic that this is going to make a big change?
Well, this is the third time they've announced tougher on crime bill. So I think the positive thing is that they are talking about it. They are moving in that direction, and so you know that's a positive.
In your view, what do you think needs to happen? Because I look at this kind of proposed change and I hope, like I think a lot of Canadians do, that this is more than just a photo op, that it's more than just some kind of announcement, that they actually, in this particular part of the criminal code, start making some tangible changes to those who prey upon children.
Well, it's very true, but you know, not only do we need to change the laws, but you know, there's a lot of other work to do. You know, there's a lot more survivors of child sexual abuse in this country that need places to go and you know, need to start their healing process. So not only do we need to take care of the pedophiles, but we also need to take care of you know, the survivors that are left behind.
And what is the answer to that? I mean, I've seen a lot of young kids have to go through the court process, have to testify and face their accuser, only to be, you know, forgotten about, essentially, as we protect the rights of the accused. What do you think is needed for a youngster or someone who's been violated by these people in the system? What needs to happen for any kind of rehabilitation? Well,
it's obviously a long, drawn-out process, and there are groups and charities across the country that are doing good work around the subject. But you know, I think you know, we have to get all these groups and all these entities together and find out what's working, what's not working, you know, when it comes to treatment of survivors. So you know, I support some really great charities in Canada that I believe have a treatment model and are having success, and so it'd be nice to get everybody together, you know, maybe have a national summit on treatment of you know, of childhood sexual abuse. So you know, I understand that there are other advocates who have lobbied Ottawa to change the laws, and yeah, of course that's badly needed. But on the other side of the coin, you know, I've taken a stand here that that it is just as important as changing the laws that we do set up more treatment facilities and more places where people can go and get the healing that they need.
It's so rare in this country that we actually get to put a face to those who have been victimized or violated by these kinds of crimes. Folks like you, Sheldon Kennedy, took the courage and stood forward on this thing. You're high-profile guys in the NHL, so people know who you are. Without you stepping forward, do you think we'd have this kind of conversation happening right now in Canada?
Well, I think you know, when Sheldon came out, you know, obviously that put shined a very bright light on the subject, and you know, obviously in 2009 when I wrote my book and it came out, you know, and I think, you know, both Sheldon and I have tried to advocate for change in laws and also, you know, more facilities for treatment. So you know, I feel very blessed and fortunate that that through the course of my life I've been able to, you know, get the proper healing and be around some really great therapists, some really great treatment, and you know, it's allowed me to be in this place in my life. And you know, that's the thing about an advocate and somebody who has become a victor over childhood sexual abuse, is that you don't ever want it to happen to another child again, and you'll do whatever you can within your power to put pressure on the people that are in power, or people that can make significant changes to the laws and to the healing process. And you know, that's, I think, the positive thing about child sexual abuse, is that we do have a cure, and we do have a really great opportunity to heal people from this affliction. And you know, Sheldon is living proof, I'm living proof that that you can get to a place of peace and happiness and joy and you know, really lead a very productive and happy life. And you know, the thing about shame is that once you shed the shame around child sexual abuse, you know, the world really opens up for you, and you know, something that was never your responsibility to take on in the first place is now gone in your life, and now you can move on and move forward, and you know, like I said, you have a very productive life, you know.
Before we let you go, Theo, I want you to tell me about your next step, which involves a walk between Toronto and Ottawa, the Victor Walk. How do people get involved or find out information on this?
Yeah, they can go to victorwalk.com to get involved and support you know, our 3 charities that we're walking for. I'm starting the walk on May 14th from the Child Sexual Abuse Monument in Toronto, and walking to Parliament. I'll arrive May 23rd, and really, you know, what it's all about is we want to try and empower as many people as we can to step forward and encourage them, you know, to start their healing process. I'm actually in the process of also, you know, writing a series of 5 books centered all around healing from sexual abuse. So you know, look for that to come out next September. And you know, we're also doing healing conferences now across the country, and so you know, my initiative is you know, there are 8 million survivors of child sexual abuse in this country, and you know, my goal is to get all 8 million some sort of help and some sort of healing you know, before this is all said and done.
All right, well, we thank you so much for joining us, and of course providing your input on this, and of course we'll revisit you when we get more details of this proposed legislation. Get your thoughts. Thanks, Theo.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much.
He's former NHLer and victims' rights advocate Theo Fleury, joining us from Calgary.